Hey team, for this lesson we're gonna make some goat cheese mousse. I have some things already prepared. I took my goat cheese and my cream cheese and some salt and pepper, and I used my paddle to beat them until they turn soft. Before I did that, I left them out at room temp for about an hour. Okay, just to get them soft. If you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, that's okay. If you have a hand mixer, you can use that. If you don't have a hand mixer, that's okay. You can let the cheese get soft in your counter for about an hour, or maybe flash it 10 seconds in the microwave, and then basically take a wooden spoon, put it in a bowl, and just mix it until it gets really, really soft. Okay, and then for the second part of this recipe, I took my cream and I made whipped cream out of it. If you have a siphon, that works. If you have a KitchenAid mixer, that works. If you have a hand mixer, that works too. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. Send me an email. We'll take care of you. We have mixers. We have actually stick blenders that turn into a whisk, and we can get you one so you can get this recipe done. Okay, so basically all I did was I beat my cheese until it got really soft. But know that the key here is that the cheese was at room temperature for a while. Okay, and we're just gonna make a quick mousse. There's different ways of making this mousse. This one will not last nearly as long as working with gelatin. I want you to do it when we make one with gelatin. You're gonna make it when we're all in the same room. That way we can troubleshoot any problems we have. Okay, so fairly simple. I have a glass bowl here so we can all see. I'm going to take my cheese and I'm going to place it on my bowl. Obviously at home you don't have to do this. I'm just doing it in the glass bowl so you can see. If I was gonna make this without recording a video, I would just mix it in this same KitchenAid bowl. Okay, now the goal here is to line up the cheese. I hope that you tried the goat cheese or the chev and saw how tangy it actually is, and that's why we're putting cream cheese in there to go ahead and tone down the tanginess, right? But then we have to season it with a little bit of salt and quite a bit of pepper actually. It was more pepper than salt, and the goal is that we're making a mousse, which will be a creamy component of our appetizer here, our canapé, which is what we're gonna make with our smoked salmon and this and our crostinis. Okay. Anytime that you make a mousse, we're going to add the light item to the heavy item in 3 stages. So I have my cheese right here, which is my heavy item, and I have my light item, which is my whipped cream, and I'm going to take a third of it and I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to mix it without worrying about what happens. This first step is loosening up the cheese, okay, and making it ready so we can actually fold the rest of the whipped cream into it. Okay, so all we're doing is making it lighter. Okay, looks pretty good right there. Now the next 2 stages we actually have to be careful because we want to keep as much of the bubbles as we can. So we'll put the whipped cream right there, and then the motion is move the bowl one way, move the spatula the other way, up and over. Okay, so up and over, up and over. I'm pretty sure you guys did this in the bakery with probably chocolate mousse. You're making tiramisu, something like that, semi-freddo. You work your way into a heavy component with a light component, right? If you help anyone with their soufflés, you probably do something like that, where you fold the light and the heavy item, and it's not gonna get super light like souffle, right? But it's gonna get close enough. The goal is that it's always pipeable, or that we can use a spoon to put it in a canapé, no problem. Yeah. So here's my last addition of my whipped cream, and my whipped cream doesn't have any sugar. It's just the cream. I took it to soft peaks, and now I'm just mixing it with my cheese, making the cheese nice and light. Yeah. Up and over, up and over, up and over. And although I'm moving fast, I'm barely touching. When I bring it over, I'm barely touching. I'm not pushing it down, so I don't push any of the air out of this cheese mixture. This cheese mixture will last for as long as the cream will last, so probably 3 to 4 weeks, right? So that should be really good right there, okay? And that's how simple it is to make cheese mousse. I'm going to get rid of some of my dishes here, and now we can work with this. Clean the outside of the bowl so we don't have messy tools. Okay, and I have my salmon right here that I've already fully cut. And then I have a plate, and I have my crostinis, okay? And we're gonna make this very simple. I mean, I know some of you guys like the piping bag. I use the piping bag sometimes. I think that'll be kind of a waste of time for this specific dish, but you'll notice that your crostinis now are somewhat bent, right? So you want to kind of have them like a cup. That's the goal here, okay? So we'll take a little bit of mousse like that, put it on the top, and notice that I spooned it so you have some height. Okay, you see that? And we'll do some of these. Maybe we'll do 5 of them. Okay, and it's nothing fancy. I'm just putting a spoon of it in there. And this should complement that salmon really, really well. Okay, so one right here. Go like that. Try not to get it on the outside of the crostini so your guests don't get dirty hands. Here we go. One more time. There's 5 of them right there. And what I'm going to do is put the part that has no cheese towards the outside of the plate. So if someone's gonna grab it, they're not getting goat cheese on them. Does that make sense so far? I hope so. Clean my hands. And then I'm gonna grab a piece of lox. I'm gonna fold it in half, like so, and then kind of roll it. So you should end up with something like so. And then you can take this guy, put it right there, so it looks like so, all right? If you want it to be long ways, you could also do that. You could just take the lox and just simply fold it and place it on top of the cheese, okay? And that looks more like so, and that way you're covering a little bit more of your canapé, okay? And I'm gonna actually like that. I'm gonna repeat that onto the rest of my canapés right here. And there we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now the first one looks like it needs a little bit more, so I'm just gonna add one more piece right there. Okay, and now we have a fairly attractive platter here, I have a little bit of dill that I had left from making the lox itself. And I'm just going to take a small frond like so. I'm going to place it right on top of that salmon. And the idea is that this garnish is not only a good complement to the dish, but it's also telling us that the salmon is flavored with dill. Okay, so like that. If you're not a fan of dill, you can take, if you have any chives left over, I have some chives here as well, and you can take a little bit of chive like that, place it on the canapé. If you want to cut them up, you can do that as well. I really like the dill on this, so I'm going to finish all mine with dill. But a little bit of dill goes a long ways. If you're not for sure how much dill to use, eat some by itself, and then you'll see how quickly a little bit goes a long ways. Okay, so we have our plate here. Need to wipe down a little bit right here. Notice that I'm not overcrowding the plate. I'm just putting 5 of them here. I like keeping the plate so we have plenty of space. And then I'm going to take a little bit of pepper and sprinkle throughout. And a little bit will attach to the cheese, but a little bit will be on the plate, so it'll give you a little bit of a contrast. Okay. And this is a very simple canapé of goat cheese mousse with salmon lox and dill.